the clue is in the name. More than 100 years ago, the Labour Party emerged from the need for a political voice for the working class, its roots buried deep in the trade union movement.
Labour is the party of the future.
In post-war Britain, while the party's fortunes waxed and waned, its union link remained strong, but not entirely unchallenged.
This was the scene as the strike aimed against Mrs. Barbara Castle's white paper on union reform.
In the 60s, a plan from Labour's Employment Secretary Barbara Castle to curb union power threatened to cause a major party split.
The trade unions themselves have been clamouring for years for collective bargaining to be underpinned more and more by the law.
In the end, there was compromise, and so came the era of the mighty barons.
And it's a 5% increase we're fighting against at the moment.
As ongoing strikes caused chaos through Britain, the public mood shifted. Labour's trade union link became a liability. In 1981, a gang of 4 defectors formed the Social Democrats, claiming Labour had lurched to the left and yielded power to the unions. It was Margaret Thatcher who dared do what Labour leaders hadn't. She went head-to-head with the unions and eroded their industrial might. It all led to Neil Kinnock's effort to distance his party from the hard left.
I'm telling you, you can't play politics with people's jobs and with people's services.
It was John Smith who first broke the power of the union bloc vote in 1993.
The changes I propose today are vital.
Then came Tony Blair, who tore up old Labour's constitution, famously ditching Clause 4, the commitment to common ownership of the means of production. Now Ed Miliband has been pushed into further reform, forced to prove his leadership after allegations that Unite rigged candidate selections in Falkirk. Last weekend he won backing for an end to the automatic affiliation of union members and introduced the one-member, one-vote system to elect party leaders.
You're voting for the biggest transfer of power to our members and supporters in the history of the Labour Party.
Today's Labour leader has been praised for finishing a job started long ago, but some say the reforms aren't that radical and could make Labour more dependent on the unions, not least for their money.